The high-flying All Flakes should have little to no problem disposing of the winless Scarlets here in round number 9 of the GRC. A big win and a bonus point to boot will put them right in prime position to potentially take on that number 1 overall spot. Hello everyone and welcome back along to your home of rugby in the Global Rugby Challenge, the subscriber series where you guys take the field against the world's elite. Today, the winless Scarlets are on the road, travelling down to Eden Park to face the All Flakes, who, like we said in the intro there, could potentially go number 1 if they get a big win and a bonus point to boot here against the Scarlets. They've named a very, very strong side who is travelling in pretty good style as well. They'll be hoping for much of the same from round 8 to carry on into round number 9, where they took out the decent enough side of Leinster, 41 points to 14. The round before that was a little bit closer, however, in round 7 was 21-14, just over their big rivals, you could say, in the Crusaders. They currently still have a very strong record in second position, 6 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss, and a very good side as well that could really battle with the Celtic Dragons at the top of the table. The team for tonight is as follows: very strong looking 15 as well, a front row consisting of Shady Streetwalker, Nicholas Freilander, captain and hooker for the All Flakes again tonight, and Ben Bobbs will be on the tight head side of the front row. Big man Akahata Kamana will be in the second row alongside Morgan Yates, with Dean Mumberg, Tip Top and Brett Hartley the back row. A very versatile and quick back row at that as well. The electric Jimmy Henderson will line up at scrum half, and it is the clutch superstar that keeps on saving the All Flakes, Samu Coop, at fly half for the team. Into midfield, and it's the Wrigleys together, Ike Wrigley and Matt Wrigley at 12 and 13, with the electric as well, Corey Davidson, Nathaniel Edwards on the wings, and Christian Catley, calm as a cucumber, at the back for the All Flakes. Trying to get in their way will be the Scarlets, a team that have had not much luck to speak of at all. The best chance for a victory for this team came a few rounds ago in round 5, where they lost 8-7. Yes, that famous scoreline to the Lions from South Africa. Since then, though, it's been all bad news as well. 43-13, they went down to Montpellier, 14-7 to the Guardians of the Carib, and 28-7 to the Celtic Dragons last round. It's their third subscriber team in a row with the All Flakes, who are looking very good, very hot, coming up a big score as well. They will be difficult to stop. It's not to say the Scarlet side isn't a good team. It's a very capable side. The props are good. Samson Lee and Rob Evans in each side of the front row, and then Jake Ball and Tom Price in the second row, and Shingler, Uzair Kazim, a very, very good back row partnership with Blake Thompson, of course. In the halves, it's Gareth Davis and Reece Patchell, again, strong players for this team as well. The midfield has had a bit of a change, with Kieran Fonatere coming in for the injured Jonathan Davis, which is a big loss. He'll partner Hadley Parks in the middle of the team. Johnny McNichol, a good finisher for formerly of the Crusaders, and of course Stephen Evans on the right side. And Lee Halfpenny, one of the world's elite at fullback for the Scarlets team. It's a great team on paper, but they've never once put it on the paddock in the GRC this season. Ready to go with Lee Halfpenny at the halfway line, ready to get it underway. He's in the red, of course, for the Scarlets, and it'll be the black and white for the All Flakes. Eden Park is pumping and ready to go. And we are underway for our third match of round number 9. As ball is left to bounce, and Akahata Kamana is the one who grabs it in. A bit of a messy start there in the pouring rain for the All Flakes, as Samu Coop, Mr. Cool, kicks long with the big throw, and he gets it down to Lee Halfpenny. He returns fire back into the All Flakes half and sits up for Kamana, who finds Streetwalker, and Brett Hartley, the big running Brett Hartley at number 8, charges through. He's a bit alone, he's a bit isolated, and he loses the pill too. Here's a chance that the Scarlets are looking for. They're quick to the breakdown as well. Out of the Welsh side, they look left side, and it's a kick coming in from Reece Patchell that'll get them nicely into position in the 22 as well for the Scarlets. Interesting start there, really looking to pin them down. And the line out in their own 22 is a bit of a problem for them. They would have loved to attack from the off and be thrown in from Freilander, and Henderson quickly gives it away to Corey Davidson, who's adept at playing in a lot of positions throughout this back line. He doesn't get it away from Halfpenny though. Mumberg chases hard in the pass. Oh, and a knock on from Johnny McNichol. Sets the team going a bit backwards. And not the start, really, that the Scarlets are wanting. They've had a bit of territory, they've had a bit of possession as well. And neither side really have been that impressive in the start of this matchup. But the All Flakes scrum pumps well. And it is Brett Hartley who pulls on the back, finding, Edwards, who's taken high. That is terrible from the Scarlets, and that's a yellow card to boot. Well, quickly onto it. Now that's Johnny McNichol, who's going to be sent to the bin for 10. Kazim can't believe it, but the left winger is gone. And in a good position, may have been a chance for 3 there, but Samo Coop and Nicholas Freilander, the calm heads in charge of this team, have decided that they'll just go for touch instead. And this is a great opportunity to give it to those boys here. The Wrigley's in midfield. They'll be the ones who are wanting this ball. And they have danger outside them as well. They are explosive partners. Here we go. To the back. Top to Henderson. Samo Coop runs the line. Coop back to top. Back outside Kamana. There's numbers stacked up here. Morgan Yates to no one. Wrigley's taken high now from Halfpenny. It's a disaster. Halfpenny takes him down in a big swinging arm. And that is a huge tackle. But the referee and everyone else knows that that is highly illegal. And look, that's from Freilander. Wow, the captain has said, put the pressure on. Get us close, and we'll take it the rest of the way. And Samo Coop, an experienced campaigner, alongside Christian Catley there. Those two know what's up. The line out from Nicholas Freilander, captain again. Sits it to Yates, and Yates gets some friends as well. They're going to bowl it out, the All Flakes. They're going to ride up there. Ben Bob's to the back of Ben Bob's. He's just short. Bob's had it all there, and it's turned over and kicked away from Gareth Davis, who saves the day. Well, the intent is clear here from the All Flakes. They want points, and they want them in sevens. The maul went a metre short, and Ben Bob's in a real arm wrestle. Kamana gives to Henderson, and here's Samo Coop running hard again. Gives a shot to Hartley. Brett Hartley's been amazing. Morgan Yates is there. Goes to Freilander. Streetwalker. The big boys are there. But Tip Top will finish it. And that is a well-worked try. Everyone running back around from the line out in support of Samo Coop. And they were there, ready and waiting, lining up to score the try. Samo Coop did brilliantly. Brett Hartley cut them in half. And then look at all the big boys. Yates, Freilander, Bobs, Streetwalker, they were all there. And in the end, it was Tip Top, the one with the final say. That was a devastating team to have running at you. Mumberg was on the inside as well. Look at the ability. Passing before the tackle could get to them. Just keeping the ball one step ahead of the defence. And finally, after a few trials and errors, the All Flakes managed to put one on the board. 5-0, kick to come. It's taken 20 minutes. It won't please the All Flakes by any means. But they've got one on the board already. The Scarlets have troubled very few sides this season, especially the subscriber sides, although they did push the Guardians very close, so have been a bit inconsistent. But the yellow card period has been fully taken toll of. Johnny McNichol back on. And 15 on 15 resumes. Lee Halfpenny, who has been in a lot of the action very early on, goes high, and it's picked up from Mumberg, who's actually spilt the ball in the tackle. Luckily for him, it's gone backwards, and for the All Flakes as well. Henderson, away to Edwards. Nathaniel Edwards, just about sliding through. Good tackle coming in there. Stopping this tracks from Kieran Fonatia. Here's Streetwalker. The rain. The rain's got the better of Streetwalker there. And the ball goes forward. And the big shiny dome is getting a bit wet for Streetwalker. It was a great pass too. It was right in the bread basket.
Crouch. Bind.
But he's let that one go.
Set.
And the scrum will pack down. And despite the fact the All Flakes have been the scrum so far between these two sides, and we'll see whether they can put pressure on. And they can. Great timing there from the All Flakes. They weather the storm and then they put on the pain. Here's Hartley. Brett Hartley. He's been so destructive. Tip Top's there. Bob. Henderson. Flat ball. Wrigley. To Mac. And Mac Wrigley running all alone here. Pops it back to Bobs, and Ben Bobs takes the tackle. Wrigley gets involved. Here's Henderson. Away to Wrigley. Storms out of one and throws a forward pass. And that's not the way they want it to go there for the All Flakes. They are struggling in this weather. He goes away and a
Advantage
big
over.
kick. Advantage over. That's out in the full. Well, I think he's really made a hash of that there. Reece Patchell, all the time in the world, the charge down was overrun, and he just could set it up beautifully, but he just overcooked it. 35 gone. Freilander to the back, and Henderson. Huge pass out to McWrigley, who lines up the defender and gets pummeled, and an injury to McWrigley. Oh, disaster in midfield for the All Flakes. So the All Flakes forced into a change, and it will be number 21, Kerwin Zealey, to come on to replace Wrigley. And it is McWrigley, so Ike is still on the field. Yes, it's confusing, I know. I thought it would be even better having them playing beside each other, but injury has come down to it.
Set.
And it's McWrigley who's gone off. So Kerwin Zealey takes his place, and those two will probably swap around in midfield, I'd imagine. It's a scrum feed to the All Flakes, who have been very good on it as well. Here is Brett Hartley once more, having another go as Brett Hartley.
Release.
Sets it up nicely, and here comes Mumberg. Oh, poor pass from Dean Mumberg there, and real pressure there on Nathaniel Edwards, who's lost the ball, and it's been kicked away hastily from Hadley Parks. Christian Catley's across there, and Catley will take them on! Catley beats him as well! Catley's in the backfield, and Christian Catley with a great try from fullback! He's left them for dust, speed, skill, and agility from Christian Catley, and the try to the All Flakes puts them up by 12 with a break. Kick to come to make it 14. Oh, electric work from Christian Catley, and the speed following the step was too hot for the Scarlets, and a great try for the fullback. A rare try for anyone in a number 15 jumper. Excellent work. Top was on hand. He was keeping up with him too, but he didn't need him. Lee Halfpenny come across, could only force him in towards the corner. A splendid try. No other way to describe it there. A tremendous try for Christian Catley. Well, that's just what they needed to heading into half-time. They were struggling to put points on the board. It was only 7-0. Now it's possibly, potentially 14-0. They will be much better for the All Flakes. 2 tries in the first. Well, they need us 2 in the second, maybe 3 or 4. And they will be well on their way to going towards that top spot. Off to half-time we go. And there'll be a better team talk thanks to the work of Christian Catley, who sends them much more happier into the break. It is 14-0, and look at that. Look at those stats. Possession, 76-24. One-way traffic for the home team in the rain. Not the greatest weather for running rugby and tries being scored, but they are really giving it a good go as well. Territory's 50-50, and the Scarlets really are not doing themselves any favours. Couple of high tackles, of course. 1 yellow card to Johnny McNichol, which didn't help their cause at all. That's what they conceded the first. But it is really a game with 2 sides trying desperately to do opposite things. The Scarlets just want to get in the game. They want to contend. They want to score some points. They want to get a bit of possession and a bit of momentum. It's really not come their way because the All Flakes are aggressive. They are dominant, and they are going to try and pile on as many points as they can. There's no control. It's all-out attack from the home team. At the moment, they lead 14-0, dominant in the first half. 4 line breaks to 1, and they look like they'll be odds on the team to get this job done. But the question is, can they do it by 4 tries or more and put pressure on the Dragons at number 1 spot? Of course, we have to remember to have a look at Mr. Wrigley and see how Mr. McWrigley is after that injury as well, whether he's going to be out for the remainder of the season or not. Back to the action we go, though. Sammer Coop gets us underway, and a deep kick here. Dean Mumberg chasing hard, and it's nicely claimed there from Gareth Davis. And away come the Scarlets, attacking very nicely. Here's Reece Patchell breaking away. Support out wide from Andy Parks. Kerwin Zealey saves the day. And the Scarlets, wow, out of the blocks in a hurry. They've come to this right-hand side. Stephen Evans trying to get away from Brett Hartley. Great ball back inside. There's a chance out for Rob Evans. The Evanses are getting the job done. Stephen and Rob right front of the sticks now. The All Flakes try and put pressure on the breakdown, but it's there once again for Patchell. He's gone left side. Now they're trying to break through. Blake Thompson cuts back inside, and it's there for Hughes. Dominic Hughes goes back to Jake Ball. This is a great start to the half for the Scarlets. As here's Lee. Big ball wide from Samson Lee. They go all the way out. That's another chance for Patchell. He's got Stephen Evans with him, and they drag him down as well. They are just 6 or 7 short now. It's there for Shingler, who gives it back and a little chip over the top. They will be easily dealt with. And Catley breaks out of one and he's put into touch. Hadley Parks, what were you thinking there? Offside, Stephen Evans. Run out of ideas. Hadley Parks, and he's just given away a penalty. Great little play there from Catley. He is up for this, boy, I tell you. So we've got some. I'm not quite sure what we've got there is the All Flakes have somehow managed to manipulate this into being dead and goal. So instead we've got not a penalty, it's the 22 dropout. So if you could explain how that happened, I'll be more than interested to know. It's Samo Coop getting us back underway and he's kicked that out the full. Wow, really interesting here. This game has taken a bizarre twist. It's the All Flakes and Scarlets really don't know what's going on here. We're back to the 22, and the option taken for the Scarlets will be a scrum. My word, the two teams here that are really pushing the envelope as to what they can do. Scarlets with another chance. Despite the best effort of the All Flakes, they've not managed to get themselves out of trouble. Gareth Davis stands on the 22, left and right he goes. Now he's got a chance. Volunteer out to a poor play. Once again, Johnny McNichol scrapes it out to Brett Hartley, who gets in a bit of a tussle. And the All Flakes again, advantage on this side. Streetwalker fires a big ball away to replacement Cohen Seeley, who breaks away from everyone. Now he looks wide, gets the kick away, but he's taken high. And look who was out there. It was Shady Streetwalker, all alone in the middle of the paddock. And he thought he was in for a try. Well, as quick as you like, under the pump, under pressure, a little error, and they've managed to escape all the way to inside the Scarlets 22. How about that for a turnaround? The Scarlets, well, they should be rightfully very annoyed. Back to Captain Freilander, who goes nicely to the middle to Morgan Yates, and Henderson pops it to Samo Coop, who's running at the line. We all love to see it fly half, run quickly at the defensive line. Here's Cohen Seeley. Oh, very attempted. Oh, he's knocked it on! He's knocked it on! I was going to say very attempted first receiver, and he spilled the beans. When the All Flakes now were looking for a chance to extend their lead. Big tackle there.
Crouch.
Monstrous hit from Hadley Parks.
Set.
Another scrum. And I tell you, we've had a lot of scrums in this matchup. We are just over the hour mark, and it is the Scarlets feeding for probably the 4th or 5th scrum of the match. Now they go, a bit of trouble there as Gareth Davis tried to force his way around the sticks. And somehow, eventually, Blake Thompson does do a bit of effort with it and gets him 6 or 7 metres out there, keeping him very tight through them. And that's a real opportunity there for Freilander. Thought he was into something and another injury. Rob Evans now, he's going to be going. And the tight head prop has got a neck injury. And the replacement will be on in Kruger. What is going on with the end of this competition? We're getting to the last few rounds and teams are just putting in the thumpers. We had no injuries for 8 rounds.
Crouch.
Or maybe 7.
Bind.
No, the Dragons got their 1 injury in round 7. So we are just about through 7 rounds before we got an injury. And now another scrum will back down. The chances of the All Flakes picking up a bonus point here are getting, I take it back. They were getting slim. We've turned over the scrum. Now they've got a chance. It's Brett Hartley once more. Hartley! Oh, man. He is really giving this a tussle. Top out to no one in particular. And all Kamana can do is lay on that and secure possession again. Freilander to Streetwalker! Oh, Streetwalker! What a fan there from the loose head prop. Another go. Away to Dean Marburg! Held, trickle over! Oh, Willie! Oh, great effort here from Gareth Davis. This could be held up, or will it be a try? I don't know. We're going to go upstairs. The referee has no clue what's going on there. And he's in a bit of a conversation here with his man upstairs. Hadley Parks tried to save it, but it was Gareth Davis. He's held that up. Every day of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's all held up. Doesn't matter what day you're watching, that's going to be no try. And a 5-metre scrum to the All Flakes, which you probably put $1 on it, that Brett Hartley's going to take off the back. Great work there, the tackle on Dean Mumberg. And we're having another look. Wow, is the TMO quite short? Mumberg, he put a little bit of fancy footwork on there, just about did in Hadley Parks, but it certainly did not do in Gareth Davis in a real tussle on the ground. 20 players standing there looking, and the decision, unsurprisingly, no try. There'll be a 5-metre scrum
Crouch.
to the attacking team.
Bind.
Only 5 minutes remain. 2
Sit.
tries still required for the All Flakes. Bonus points is number 1 priority. It's another solid scrum. Oh, is it? No, it's not. The Scarlets strike late, and the Scarlets will turn this over and certainly put an end to any chance of a bonus point try. Johnny McNichol kicks out, and that's up to the 10-metre line with just 2 minutes to go. Wow, All Flakes have dominated all day long when it comes to the pack, and when they really needed one to go, it's failed them. Friedlander goes Akata Commander at the front, and Henderson gives to Samaku, who quickly fires it out to Ike Wrigley. Supports there with Kerwin Zeeley. Zeeley puts on the fend pass 1. Zeeley back inside to Mumberg, who really wanted that try before. It's only 14-0. Can you believe it? Friedlander to top. Oh, desperate. Oh, wow, what a tackle there. Oh, that is huge. I think that might be Hughes. No, it's not. It's Jake Ball. Now he's gone as well. Samson Lee cannot believe it either. Goodness gracious, another yellow card. Here's Simakoop. He's tapped it. He's gone to Streetwalker! And the prop! He's charging through! Streetwalker's over! Shady Streetwalker scores! What a play! And the forwards have had a great performance on the All Flakes. It's been wet. It's been miserable. But the pack has stood up. It won't be enough for a bonus point, however. But it's a strong finish from the big number 1. And if only they could have got a little bit more luck, a little bit of a dry track, this game could have been a thumping. It kept the Scarlets in it, but how long did we see the All Flakes in this 22 of the Scarlets? A good 80% of the game I'd probably hedge my bets towards. And the bottom place side, without a victory, continues on that poor run of form. But regardless, the All Flakes do not pick up that much required bonus point. It'll be 21-0 as Samaku adds the extra 2. The injury to Mac Wrigley has been a bit of a concern as well. But the All Flakes, they will go home with the 4 points and now continue that fight. But a game against the bottom of the table, winless Scarlets, has not produced a bonus point. Will be most disappointing here to the All Flakes. You saw Samaku there. He was hands on knees, and then you see Catley as well. They did everything they could, and they've got to give a bit here to the Scarlets, who probably were a big target to not concede their bonus points. And they did stand up. They focused on defence, and it was almost enough to put pressure on the All Flakes, who did fall to pieces a bit in that latter part of the half. 3 tries to zip. We knew the Scarlets weren't going to trouble them, but only 3 tries will make them very disappointed. 1 apiece to Shady Streetwalker, Tip Top, and Christian Catley. And Sam Coop was the one to convert all 3. Christian Catley's try will go down as one of the best of the season. Attacking from the back, scything through the defensive line, and scoring in the left-hand corner was a try to behold for every rugby purist in the pouring rain as well. 21-0, the final score. And it was dominant, it really was dominant. 68% of possession, 53% of territory. The scrums, 7 scrums in the game. That is huge, but have a look at that next line. That is where the rain affected this game. 14 handing errors by the All Flakes, 5 by Scarlets. That's almost 20. That's 19 in total. Handing errors for the full 80 minutes. That is why the All Flakes could not pick up the bonus point. The rain has really conspired against them here at home, and they have gone down and failed to get the extra point that they really, really needed. 2 yellow cards. Well, it didn't cost the Scarlets. I mean, they conceded when they had 1 each time. So when it was 15-15, the score was only 7-0, which is quite amazing. Both sides suffered injury as well, which is going to be pretty big. Losing Mac Wrigley certainly is a bit of a danger. Rob Evans for the Scarlets as well. We'll see how Mac's going after this and see what the table looks like. The Scarlets, though, way down the bottom. The All Flakes, I think, 1 point from number 1 spot. Well, the poor old Scarlets sitting way down there in 12th position. I mean, I know the positives here, and I see that they've actually got a better points differential than the Lions, who are in 11th. So, I mean, one win is all the difference there, and a bonus point as well between the two teams. But we'll look up the top where it sees the Celtic Dragons still sitting pretty at the top of the table on 36 points. The All Flakes, one of the only sides with 5 bonus points alongside the Exeter Chiefs, couldn't pick up the 6th, so they remain on 35. The Guardians of the Crib are down there on 31, and the Corn Flakers, who are still yet to play, down on 30th. Montpellier still in the hunt though. They are 1 point adrift of the Guardians, who have both played now in round 9 and equal points with the Flakers, but the Flakers still have to play, and they will be in the next matchup of the round, and it will be one of the last games of round 9 as well. It will be the last game of round 9. Leinster up against the Flakers, and I mean, Leinster need a win. Their season pretty much should say, as far as getting into the top half of the top division, they are certainly not for a chance of catching Montpellier unless they do pick up a shock win against the Flakers in the next matchup. Top 6 though is what you need to do, and there's a bit of competition for that 6th spot. You see Leinster on 19, but it's the Chiefs and Castres on 17, Crusaders on 16, all with a chance to sneak into those playoffs come the end of the season. Poor old Scarlets though, man, minus 120. All Flakes still down on points though. They could have scored a couple more tries. They would have certainly taken that number 1 spot. One fixture remains in round 9. That is the Flakers versus Leinster, and then the big one. Oh, can't wait for that. Back to the subscriber clashes. Guardians of the Crib versus the Celtic Dragons. That is going to be huge. If the Guardians win that, oh boy, it is on for young and old. But of course, remember the Dragons drew their subscriber clashes earlier on in the season as well. So do they have it mentally to actually topple a fellow subscriber team? We find out not next time, but the time after, into round number 10. Then we've got 3 matches before the Guardians are in the action again against the All Flakes. Boy, last round of the tournament. What a time to bring these clashes back as well. So what do we got? Just, 3, 6, 7 games before the playoffs. So let us know your thoughts on the teams and players. We're getting near the nitty-gritty end and part of the season. So let us know your thoughts on who you think are the best performers as well, because not far away before we're going to be crowning a champion and having a look at the team of the season for season number 3 of the GRC. And as always, I forget to check the injury, but Mac Wrigley, bad news for Mr. Wrigley. He is gone for 22 days, which is about 3 weeks or so of game time. So he's going to miss round 10, round 11, and the quarterfinal if they have to play it. He potentially will be back for semi or final if the All Flakes make it that far. So, man down for the All Flakes. Mac Wrigley is gone for 22 days. Thanks everyone for tuning and watching. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. Let me know your comments in the section below, and I'll see you next time for the Flakers versus Leinster, and then the big one, Guardians, Dragons. Oh, that is going to be one worth waiting for. Until then though, thanks for watching, and as always, take care.